because you're not just fighting a squad of 4. You're essentially fighting a squad of 16 players at that point, and it's an unwinnable battle. And so coming into this game now, Smoke and Aces for the most part have kind of held their ground, especially with that heroic effort from Cloudtail coming in game 2. But they really need to start stepping it up as a team, and we really haven't even seen anything from Mime, who was like the one of the most lethal players in the phase last MPLC.
Yeah, it feels like he hasn't been put in a position to do things quite
No,
yet.
and
It's
you're
always caught in
absolutely right on
rotation.
that. Yeah,
And so
you're
I think
100%.
it's been interesting to see them be able to get any points so far. But again, they're not as far down as some of the other squads that have performed well in the MPLC, like Oxy, who currently 1 point right now.
Right.
So they're still in striking distance of at least that 6th place spot.
Right. I mean, to be fair, so is Hoxie, but that's like one really big win for them, and that's the problem. Is you don't want to start and then end off on day 1 needing that one big win just to get back into things. And so, with only a 15-point gap, that's really not a lot. But if Oxy continues this trend of kind of failing early or falling short, so to speak, then that's not going to be a big confidence booster going into tomorrow.
Oh, definitely not, as you could see. Pretty spread out. Painan again, not fought over. I'm going to fight with the coach that told me what was going down there. Oh, and here we go. Here's a circle that
I
is
haven't seen too many southern circles, man.
different. Yeah, most of the time we're always headed north on the main island. It's pretty much a gimme. But in this case, this is 100% into the South Island, can we say? 100% of the South Island is in it.
Yeah. I mean, it's I would be absolutely shocked if it shifted to the northwest and kind of went to that island. But yeah, this one is probably going to end south. I mean, I'd say it's about a 99% chance of happening. And so what's going to end up happening here is Painan and most of the north, I think, a lot of teams will expect it to be very cluttered, but what's going to end up happening is I think the east and the west are actually going to start to get the most clustered teams because they're going to try to avoid the north. That's actually going to leave the north open, but we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, low-key, lucky enough to get the circle in game number 2 over in Miramar. In this case, they've got the longest path to travel along with Wildcard Gaming. Just big rotations needed for those squads. As Barry Vibes, he might be in the sights here for Zenith, but he knows better. He's on the way out.
Yeah. And the other thing about low-key that you just mentioned is they were gifted the first circle. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean anything, but the fact that they had all of that to work with, they still weren't able to come out with that many points.
Yeah, again, low-key, one of these underperforming squads here for the NPL. Feels like all the other NPL squads have had moments where they can rest their hat on. Not quite yet here for low-key. Uh-oh, we've got a sneaky Barry Vibes in the corner. Rob, hello, Rob! Oh, no, Barry Vibes! Oh, he's going to play that one back in his mind multiple times.
Well, I think what happened is Kendo came in at the same time on the other door that leads into that building because you saw that he was actually getting shot by both players. So maybe his attention got split. I don't know, but that is unfortunate for him.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, you really do. But on the subject of low-key, again, like looking at that roster, you have Chuba, you have Pax, you have Fignaldo. These players are just, I don't know what's going on with these guys. I just don't, because they are all, and then Lobes. Like, these are great players. Just something is not working within that team.
Yeah, again, just speaking with them earlier, they were one of the squads that I had a chance to chat with. They were coming in high on it. They seemed, again, confident in their abilities, and the team now starting to run a little bit out of time here. We're not halfway through it yet, halfway through the day, but only a quarter through the tournament overall, and they have opportunity to right the ship here and get things rolling. There's another man that needs to get things going, the one true carry, Mime, and Smoking Aces. Again, just seem like they're just getting caught out in rotations. It hasn't seemed like it's just been a, not fair is the right word. I don't think that's the right word to use in PUBG.
Man. Let him in the circle.
Just a prepared fight. There hasn't been quite a prepared fight. It's always drop off something, and they're the one getting caught off guard here.
They have had issues just getting into a position where they can actually comfortably take shots and do some damage to the other teams. They've kind of always been in the thick of it. And unluckily for them, the thick of it means like in between like 4 teams, which has led to their downfall. realistically only having one good game, and that was the game that they only had one player up in that case anyway. So Smoking Aces definitely needs to kind of just work on the rotations and fix their team aspects of positioning overall.
Speaking of rotations, there's the rest of Elusive. They've already lost one guy, going up against Player One Esports, who lost two guys early in game number 3. So they'll think about it, and D-Treats gets the ride out. David forced to run, but Elusive, they have the position, they have the compound, and they're short a player. They're just going to hold their spot. And again, gunshots going out early, so people have a little bit of an idea of where possibly Elusive is. You can see Halo Klein, you can see Zenith on the map, on the mini-map as well, knowing that they can triangulate where those shots came from.
Yep, and this is, just kind of the phase where everyone's just trying to, on foot and through scouting, just get the best position possible. We see Oxy here going for Ruins, and again, another slow start to Sanhok, which is not necessarily the map that we would expect a slow start to happen on.
Yeah, especially with an aggressive circle like this that shifts pretty hard. No one holding a bridge, no one really camping out here. It's just squads getting themselves in as soon as they can. Cloudtail taking a little bit of blue damage there, but able to rotate on in and get themselves onto the dock. And they still have another chunk of water to go through if they decide to go to Bantai next to Obey Alliance.
But realistically, there's only 2 teams as far as like the far north, and if you notice that the east is definitely clumping up a little bit, although we have some teams in the center, so everyone is pretty much going to be able to get a position at the very least in the first circle. It's when this one closes that I think Circle 2 is going to be kind of the kill circle for a few of these teams, and they're going to get start to get knocked out.
Here's our low-key boys again. Low-key in the blue, name a better duo right now other than San Diego Rarity in the blue in phase 1.
I really wonder what causes them. I mean, obviously this one was the circle being so as far away from them as possible, but again, it's a small map. But I wonder if they like rotating that late. They like rotating in the blue, waiting for it coming in. But that's pretty much been how...
Pistola time. Get a little lucky there with his front wheel. But yeah, again, just low-key, just rotating late. Got to see Player One Esports. It feels like they're...
Pistola time. Drive. My goodness.
Someone send him back to driving school. Needs to happen. Something that hasn't happened, though, is no one's been knocked by their own vehicle.
No one has been knocked by their teammate in a vehicle yet. And that's really pleasant to see, man.
Yeah, a blessing. A blessing. For those of you that don't watch the MPLC, that happened every game, multiple times a day. It was glorious. But
I mean, a big difference now, though, as well, is that these players are on land, so maybe...
that's what it is. It's the lag.
Yeah, maybe it's the lag.
Blame it on lag, not bad driving. If it happens that often, I just feel like you have such a hard time blaming it on lag there for some of these squads. Supernova now getting caught out. Kickstart keeping his form from that last game, knocking an 8. And it doesn't look like on the minimap there too many Supernova squads will be close, and Pistola time still driving that motorcycle, now starting to send it around Supernova now.
Yeah, and this, I mean, it actually shifted, I think, as southwest as possible, like even into the water. So that's going to be kind of frustrating for a lot of the teams that were set up in the north and the northeast, because they're now going to have to clump on top of each other in order to fight. Meanwhile, the teams on the east are going to be able to easily start to rotate south and start filling in the space that looked like it was going to be kind of dead space with all the water in. Now they get to fill that in and actually create a little more room on the east.
No punishment, though. I think that's a big thing there. It looked like Innate was too far to get picked up, but Wildcard just rotate on around and leave them.
It wasn't worth it.
See, low-key, they're in. They're out of the blue.
I can get that decision for sure.
Oh, and here we go. Here's Ascendant, and we're used to seeing this from Smoking Aces. Filthy able to get a couple rounds out with DAK, then trying to get back onto Cloudtail. Only has a little bit of the building to keep him alive, and he's not quite able to. Soapy able to pick that one up. Filthy goes down and Obey. Hades was thinking about stepping forward and is wrapping around, but Soko and Theris kind of hanging back, and Smoking Aces take the compound.
Yeah, and for some reason, Obey Alliance has also had like a really, really slow start, and this is a team that I think has some of the better again, scouting practice. Ooh, is that a Mark 14? It is. Oh, what a delicious crate. The best item in that crate is the ghillie suit, hands down.
Go on.
I mean, there's nothing else to say. The ghillie suit is the best item in that crate. The Mark 14 is nice, sure, but that ghillie suit, especially on Sanhok, is just so devastating at hiding your presence. Really on, like, I would say like 85% of the map.
And to go on to a team like Zenith that has been getting points based off of, I would say, salvaging points and position points might be useful later on in the match. As we follow along again with the contested area east of Camp Charlie. So Bay Alliance and Smoking Aces. These guys were 1 and 2 for the longest time on the leaderboards in terms of points during the NPLC Phase 3 season. As Mime might be caught out here. Hades, your damage leader, not quite able to land the shots. Mime lives with just a little bit of HP, and Monty a little busy shooting elsewhere. So Cloudtail and the rest of Smoking Aces not able to punish Hades' missed shots.
Hades needs to get out. I don't know if he can, but he needs to get out like right now.
Yeah, he's going to just sit in the rice paddy fields and hang out on his belly for a little while.
Actually, I'm not so sure. With the way that Smoking Ace is rotating in the position Hades has and where Soko and Ferris find themselves set up, he might be okay to just continue to prone and harass Smoking Aces. In fact, he's hurting them more north towards Soko, which means that they should be able to find a few angles on him at least. And there it is, Soko going for the first few shots, gonna back off. But that is a good indicator to Smoking Aces to know that they're kind of surrounded in a sense. The best part for Obey Alliance, though, is that they've kind of herded them towards low-key a little bit.
Yeah, low-key, hearing these gunshots ringing true. And Hades able to land his shots on the one true carry. Mime goes down, Hades picks it up. But here comes low-key now cleaning up the rest of Smoking Aces. Exactly what you just said there, partner. And Pax and Lobes, just like they have in the last couple maps, steal those points away.
Yeah, absolutely. And now it's kind of the onus now onto Obey Alliance if they want to continue to stay and try to clean up some kills on low-key, and that's even if low-key decides to go in their direction, which it looks like it doesn't, or move into the circle, and I think they desperately need to move into the circle and find a position now. As we go over to SSG, Valiant trying to fight 303, taking at least one member down, going for the spray, the smoke, not going to find it.
Oh, Valiant able to step up, get one, but
Jason,
look at that Valiant just holding the spray
and
so smooth.
That's also the hallmark of this team as well. When they are in fights and they're playing together, they're so strong, and they're one of the strongest teams to do so. And that's because they play for those trades and they position themselves where, although they are a little spread out, they're spread out enough to the point where even if one goes down, the other can immediately snap back with a response.
All right, well, again, Trio Tree going down early. Sociopath got knocked and weren't able to cover up, but here come Comets. They're coming to come party with Space Station, and now here comes Halo Clyde. It's the block party, and everyone's invited. What's for dinner? It's Space Station Gaming. Down they go. Low-key now getting slowed just a bit, shoving against Elusive, and Fizzle able to get a nade on Figs, and Low-key now down one. Another one knocked here, so Low-key might not be able to get the compound they're looking for against Elusive here as we follow along. Colgy with the VSS able to pick up one. Lobes able to answer back. Fizzle does go down, but it's just Lobes up. He's up against two. Information being fed over as Chubba gets finished up. Lobes trying to get these shots here around the corner. What a shot there by Cole G. And Lobes goes down low-key again. No circle help and get eliminated in 14th place.
Yeah, that
was a 3v4.
That was a 3v4. And again, that's not a position that low-key want to find themselves in, is just going out early here. P1E managing to it's just lamp a lot on the south side. I don't even really know where the rest of his team is at. But he's just kind of all his lonesome on the south with Soapy Licious, who now may run into him. This could be the most unfortunate timing for Soapy or Lamplot, depending on who you're rooting for. But yeah, like I said, at least 2 or 3 of the other members of P1E are actually already in the circle, so they're just going to be hanging out.
Oxy was able to pick up a kill earlier, and you could see with the X-ray vision, Lamplot's going to run himself into Soapy, and Soapy's staring right at him.
Yeah, there's no support from most of his team either. If he gets knocked, he's dead.
Boop, boop, boop,
Octi
boop, boop.
is nothing he can do about that. Soapy's going to clean up at least 1 point here going into...
Is he feeding it away?
I don't know. Is he in the... What is he doing in the blue?
I think he's healing up. He's just buying time. This blue doesn't hurt that much. Lamplot.
I mean, when you're a solo and you don't have many meds, I'm not sure exactly what he's doing, but regardless, he's going to at least get that one.
And well, he does get one. Smoking Aces again. mostly knocked by Low-Key, who have been eliminated by Elusive earlier. But still, there it is. Soapy picking up 1 point there for Smoking Aces. We follow along with Supernova. They're still 4 strong, but they're being encroached upon by Noble. Noble, again, they've done a solid job either all living together or dying together. We haven't had a lot of sneaky snakes from Noble.
Sure. But
And
they've
it's
been
put
playing
them in good
really
position.
well overall. I mean, I'm very impressed with this. This is, I think, the best Noble we've seen in a long time.
Oh, he sees Acro's backpack and Fudge. Holds the trigger. Oh, he sees a Nate. He
Nice
can't
trigger
resist.
oh,
But he can't
no.
land the shots. Oh, and a Nate does go down to Fudge, but took a little bit longer than what he wanted.
Okay.
Oh,
And what a
Fudge
cleanup.
answer it back. It's 2, and Acro goes down. There goes a flying honey badger onto the top of the house. Everybody feeling it there on Noble. 2 points over to Noble.
And really good plays from Noble coming out. That was clean. I mean, aside from the first spray, not really whiffing, but he wasn't able to finish him off. The second spray and the teamwork there between Duck and himself was great. Now the last 2 members of Supernova trying to run, getting caught, Tetra getting the first knock. And Hella just needs to survive still in the open behind a rock finally. But this is not a good look for Supernova, who has also been performing fairly well.
Yeah, Hella has Wildcard and Oxy behind her. Has Vanquish from 2 positions. Here comes Tetra. He's been the leader of the squad all season long. Easy pick up there. Big points there for Vanquish.
Probably one of the easiest frags that Tetra has had to got, simply because they knew exactly where she was. They all they had to do was get angles. Everyone was coming down, and I mean, that's just, there's nothing you can do about that.
Wild card right now, gatekeeping against Oxy, but Jason able to answer back on Pistola time, has bought a little bit of time, but he's stuck all by his lonesome. Does go down to the blue. Wild card not able to pick up the last point, but they are able to punish Oxy, and oh, Pistola time, so lucky you can see the blue zone right there, keeping him in.
Yeah, absolutely. And Oxy again going down early. I mean, that's, I'm now starting to somewhat worry a little bit about that team. Which is a team that I actually had in I think they were like ranked 8 or 9 for me in my power ranking. So definitely not what we're used to seeing from them.
Nope. Oxy having a tough day at the office. Wildcard looking good though. As Comets, this is the first time we've seen this squad, who's currently sitting in second, go out so early. Zodiac picking that one up for Halo Klein. And Elusive, after their big fight with Low-Key, getting eliminated by Zenith. So a couple of these squads in the middle of the pack starting to come alive.
Yep, now God Squad, though, they're in kind of this weird spot where they have potential players to do some damage to and knock, but Zero kind of has to make the decision whether he wants to go for that, go for a res, or just go for position. And it looks like he's going to just go for the position and leave Danny G there to die as Noble slowly recovers.
Tetra on top of the rock here, trying to prevent Wildcard from coming on in, but Adam has rotated wider than Tetra. They are inside the circle. Shots ringing down now from Wildcard, so Vanquish now have an idea of where Wildcard is, and you can see most members from Vanquish now rotating on to Wildcard as Tetra does get taken down by Pistola time.
Grenade,
and Noble starting to come on in. Duck died to the zone. And Victor picking up God Squad's Danny G, so just 1 member still alive for God Squad. Zenith and Player One Esports now going back and forth as Kendo gets one, but D-Treats answers back. David still up, and it's just Kendo now, the last one alive here for Zenith. David about to peek in just a second. He is able to complete the flush. No, it gets stolen away from Darius, and Player One Esports picked that one up.
It was pushing him out. They really had nothing else left to do other tthan run into the guns of P1E. And now Wildcard still finds themselves in a good position here on the west. They're going to be able to kind of look down, see what's going on in this compound, and they still have room even in the south to move a little bit if they want to wrap that way.
Nice pick up there by Fozu, the sneaky snake of Halo Klein Gaming. Zodiac goes down. 6 teams remaining with 15 up.
And really, VQ has to pray they have this. They're going to have the compound for at least 1 more circle, but after that, if they don't get it, they're going to be kind of surrounded with people just hungrily looking for frags of the players trying to get out of that compound.
Oh, Bay Alliance.
Nice shots.
Nice shots there by Soko to pick that one up, and Theris to pick that one up on David. And Obey Alliance, they've been they're a top performer in NPLC, I think, until the final week, and now have themselves in position 3 strong to try and get some big position points.
Look at this slow push coming up by Noble. They know they need to slowly make their way in the circle and kind of get some position and just some ground to cover, but they're taking their time, and this may catch Wildcard off guard, although I'm not sure. Pistola, yeah, I think Pistola saw them. Yeah, he did. He knows exactly where they are. So Noble, they can rotate to the north. In fact, that's really the only play they have, unless they want to fight a 3-strong Wildcard coming out. But for the most part, it's really Wildcard that have taken the kind of control onto themselves to make sure that they have the entire circle covered, and they have done so.
Yeah, God Squad 0. He sees it. He sees the crate, and he doesn't see anybody. Like, why not? So he's getting a little bit closer to it. Buys a bit of time here. Where is it? I saw the red smoke. There it is. And he's just going to hide in the bush.
Oh, man.
See if anyone else sees the crate, but all of Noble right there. You can see Victor on his belly. They're all inside the circle, so they're just going to wait to see where this circle pops. All 5 squads very happy to just wait and see how this all plays out.
Oh, no. I thought at least VQ would get a little bit more of that compound in, but it shifts. I mean, say far, even though it's not. It just cut out most of the compound, basically all of it that it could in one shift there.
Oh.
Nice shots coming out from Adam, which means that VQ is going to have to move, and they are not in a good position here unless they go for an immediate wrap right now. If they can wrap right now to the east, I think VQ has a very good chance of winning this game.
But it's actually, look at this, it's Obey Alliance. Obey Alliance is wrapping to the east now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So this is going to be a very tough game, I think, for VQ coming up. Meanwhile, Noble is just getting absolutely torn apart by Wildcard and
Vanquish.
So that's going to be them going out in 4th place, leaving only 3 teams, and I believe it's a 3-on-3-on-3.
Yes, it is. The solo sneaky snake of God Squad got taken down. So Wildcard, Obey Alliance, and Vanquish, your final 3 here on the last time we'll see Sanhok for the day. Game number 4 of 6 in the day 1 of 2 for the NPL relegation battle. As Vinna got chunked there.
This is going to be such a mess, because if Wildcard try to hold out Vanquish, then Obey is going to come onto the top of Wildcard and start taking them down. Traversely, if VQ takes out Wildcard, that means Obey is going to push it regardless. So Obey, I think the game is kind of in their hands right now.
Yeah, but the sneaky snake, a Pistola Time is right there. Pentalol does go down. Hades picks it up, but now Pistola Time has caught one. He caught Soko. He's very low.
He has nowhere to run.
Just one bullet, and as you said, nowhere to run. It does look like this is Obey's game to win. There goes Pistola Time. Hades, though, getting picked up by Bozu. So Bozu and Reno still up. It's up to Theris. Theris able to get one.
Coming up
Bozu
huge.
and Theris. That wasn't a death. It was the camera going free cam mode.
He's pushing up. This info's being relayed. He's on the right side. Goes for it, but no, it's going to be VQ and Fozu. The team that had to move out of the compound ended up taking that game. I really did.